You have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla.
Wake up, everyone!
There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe now. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
On Monster Island. Monster Island.
Jay, this is a fun episode. I guess we're back. We could just start. We don't have to. I don't have to say hello every week. We're just. You press play. We'll start talking.
It's an understood hello.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
understood.
Whatever. Hello. Jay, this is a fun episode. This was fun last year. The only thing is that, first of all, we're doing our holiday wish list, part two.
Part two.
The only thing is that I was looking at my wish list for last year and getting so bummed out at all the things I didn't buy last year.
Now, did you have any when you were going through it? Because I did. Did you have any? You're like, I put that on my wish list last year. Oh yeah, I need that. Because there was one or two that I was like kind of forgot that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't forget they existed. I forgot that like they made my top 10 list because I don't either I moved on or I chased the other squirrel, right?
Right.
And also the crazy thing when I was going through it, I was like, how did I not have this on the wish list? How did I not have this on the wish list that I bought during the last year? So it's like, these things are always evolving. This is kind of the snippet in time today.
Exactly. Well, because there's too much. There's too many.
Too much.
There's too many kaiju toys, Godzilla stuff, Sofubi. There's literally too much out there to have just like a list of 10 things, And
I agree.
And when I was making the list this time, I was like, I'm going to play this a little bit simpler.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to there are a few things on my list that are a little more rare or maybe a little more hard to come by. But I think most of the things on my list, I could probably buy tonight if I wanted. It's attainable stuff. It's stuff like some of it might be expensive, but I tried to put things on there that was like right now, if I just wanted to buy a couple things, what would I go pick up? I tried to make it more of that and less every number is the Cloverfield monster type rarity, expensive bullshit. So I tried to come at it at like a different angle. Like I tried to come at it at an angle where I was like, tomorrow it might be 10 different things. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say I follow that for the most part. There might be one on my list that I might definitely need a payment plan for, but none of them are unrealistic. Like none of them would be the most expensive Godzilla toy I own. None of them would be anything like I might only see one before I die, or it may not even exist. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that's like, I want this, but I want it autographed. None of that. Like this is stuff that I could reach out into a Facebook group and if I made the right offer, I could get somebody to sell it to me. But I would say most of them, it might be a step harder than just getting it tonight. Maybe with the exception of a few, like they're signature pieces and ones that I do actually hope to acquire over probably not the next year, but over the next few years.
Yeah.
So it's all realistic. It's not like I asked for, a DNA from, AG Subarai or something like that. Nothing like that.
That was on my list.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, same. There's a couple things on here that I think you've heard me talk about before, or that me and you have kind of like looked for before, that kind of thing. But there's definitely a few things on. There might be something on my list that might even be on your site. Like, I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I haven't looked, but there's some things on here that I've like recently been like, oh, I think I want this, or things to complete a collection, just stuff like that. So it'd be fun to get into, but we'll get into that.
So should we entitle this or title your list instead of holiday wish list, like, attention, Jess, here are some good ideas for the holiday.
Yeah. Every one of these are really great. I have a birthday in February.
Oh, and your birthday too. I forgot about that.
So these are all great pickups for anybody that wants to buy me a present.
Yeah, anybody. Sure. I love it.
But before, I guess we'll do so It was really light on news this week. I don't think we have. I don't know if you have some. There's like a little bit of toy stuff happening. I don't know if you have pictures. If you want to do that, or
I do, Jake. It's I agree. A very light week, and honestly, like these two that I'm sharing are because, well, one, you'll see like when I talk about it, you'll understand why I'm sharing it. The other one, we've talked about it on the show, and we just got news and updates that the pre-order's coming soon, and I think it's live in Japan. But yeah, just 2 bits of news. There were a ton over the last 2 weeks, a ton of toy releases, but nothing that I think is like, oh my gosh, we got to talk about it, right?
Right.
Let me add this here to the stream here. So this is the first one, and if it's Bio Goji, if it's Godzilla 1989, Marusan 350, I'm going to talk about it. And we got 2 new ones coming out, plus a 95. This is from Marusan's pop-up shop, some lottery figures they're doing. I believe this pop-up is on December 17th. And there's going to be 2 new 89s. There is a kind of a Christmassy, red glitter, translucent one. And then as well, one that's green and blue with some gold accents. They look beautiful. I already have somebody there, hopefully standing in line, hoping we get some for me to keep in the collection. And the 95 is also going to be that red. That's the one you see here in the foreground. That's going to be that red glitter as well. I thought these Xmas image color versions, as they're titled, are splendid. And I really think like after a little bit of a rut, I think with 89s where it was a lot of blanks and blank translucent, blank glow in the dark, the blank colorways, I think they're getting back to some really cool ones. That glow in the dark purple and black one was awesome. I really like these a lot too. I think that they're getting a little bit more, a little bit more oomph to them. So I am excited to pick these 2 up when, fingers crossed that we can win the lottery and get them, but excited to pick these 2 up.
Yeah, I like that blue one a lot. That teal on his like toenails, fingernails,
and
his spines. That one is. I wish there was a better photo of. Yeah, I hate that he's hiding behind the red one here, but that blue one's great.
Well, I'm sure we'll see more when the actual pop-up shop goes live. I'm sure we'll see some more, and then hopefully I'll be showing them off on a YHS on Monster Island near you sometime in the near future. So I thought I had to mention that because it's 89s, and I'll do my best as I try to. Preach the gospel of the Marusan 350 Godzilla 1989. And the other one is this guy, the X Plus Godzilla Ultima, the Daikaiju series. Now that's the 25 centimeter line. I think this guy's going to be bigger because that's the scale. And these guys are a lot bigger in theory than like the Showa Godzillas and stuff. So I think he's going to be a pretty big boy, but technically in the Daikaiju, the large monster series. And we talked about this when they announced it. I'm really excited about this. And this should go live on the Shonen Rick site, the US site, here then hopefully the next couple of weeks.
Dude, that's a beautiful toy. We talked about it before, how I'm kind of excited and interested to see. Well, I mean, we're seeing it right here, but interested to see how an animated character lends itself to the X Plus line. I think that's really cool. This is a maybe for me. I might pick this up. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff on pre-order. I got a lot of stuff on payment plans right now, but I like this.
What I found is like when I don't know if you checked out today, like just some of the groups, the collector groups, and just kind of the buzz around this. I didn't realize this was such a polarizing figure, and just got
people hate
design. It's they're like, this is amazing. It's so different. I love it. I'm glad X Plus is doing it. Or it's like, easy pass. I don't need a stylized anime done in the X Plus, like quote unquote realistic style. I'm sorry. Like, I guess I'm on one side. How can you look at this and not think this is really, really cool?
What if they do more? Like, what if they do more singular point kaiju like that? That scares me because they're all such great designs. So
yeah, and now I'm worried that I didn't jump on the Monster Arts bandwagon with you for singular point, because then I could be like, you know what? I don't need the X Plus. I have a smaller, like more affordable Monster Arts. Now it's like, I mean, if they do an X Plus Jet and an X Plus Anguirus and an X Plus Rodan, like, yes, sign me up for all of that.
Yeah, it's a great.
But anyway, I wanted to show that because I know we've talked about it. We're both, been excited about it. We're really, just curious to see what they do with the Ultima design, and it looks good, man. It looks good.
It does. I'm excited for that. I feel it's just so weird how there's a never-ending stream of like amazing things coming out for Godzilla. It's never gonna stop.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna die one day, and 2 days after we die, there's gonna be like this awesome Godzilla toy that comes out. I'm not trying to get dark, but I'm just saying there's there's so much good stuff.
There's gonna be hundreds of years of good stuff after we die. No, it's funny. I was actually thinking of you the other day, or thinking of that exact thing when you were talking the other day.
You're thinking about death?
I know, right? No, I was thinking about you dying, Jake. No, when you were talking on Toy Anxiety, the hit toy show, Tuesday nights, YHS Toy Anxiety, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, with you, Craig, Abby, and Ryan Dole. Amazing, amazing show. Go check that out. It really is.
Thank you.
Changing the landscape of toy collecting, and it's amazing stuff. I mean, how many shows get call outs from all major toy brands? How many? I mean, like I said, you guys are rocking it. But anyway, you were having a conversation, and at one of the many, about Star Wars. And I'm not a Star Wars collector. I love Star Wars. I know you and everybody on the show are varying degrees of Star Wars collectors.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you were going down, one of the rabbit holes about the constant repaints and like how Star Wars is a gigantic brand, one of the biggest properties in the world. Yeah. And from a toy standpoint, there's not a lot it's not like every day you see an image of something that gets you excited. And I just think about how lucky we are in the kaiju community, how whether it's realism and X plus equivalent like Hot Toys in the Star Wars community, whether it's toys, just like your Bandai movie monster series, which would be like your Hasbro, your vintage collection and Black series, your Sofubi, which, I don't even know if there's a direct correlation there. Like every day there is something new and original that I want in the greater kaiju toy collecting universe, and Star Wars, a bigger property. And you could say for a lot of other, I'm just picking on Star Wars because it's the one that came to mind. Like, how lucky are we as kaiju fans? We have the problem of, I want too much, not, I wish they would give us this character, or I wish they would do that. And like, I don't know. Sometimes we get a little, I don't know. We forget that sometimes because we want something so specific, and like, good luck with any of the other properties. And I just know we're just so excited. I mean, it's so exciting to be able to find something new every day that you want, and stressful.
It's stressful for sure. It's interesting when you're saying that. It's making me think of, and maybe this is something that we should explore on Toy Anxiety. But when we did Toy Anxiety yesterday, and we were talking about Hasbro is putting out 2 new Boba Fett figures that are just repaints, and we were talking about it. I think they've released 7 Boba Fett figures this year. They're all the same figure. They're just like repainted, basically. And as toy collectors, we hate that. It like we complain about it. Like yesterday when we talked about it, it was like an annoying. It was like, cool, another Boba Fett. But then like when you flip the coin to the kaiju side, that's a big thing.
Yeah,
and we're sitting over here collecting 10 of the exact same figure, or 50 of the exact same figure. In your case, I've seen other people in the kaiju community who just have like, I'm going to collect every color variant of this one figure. And we like it over here. Over here, it's cool and we love it. But over here, we hate it. And I
think it's awesome topic.
Never thought about that until right now. I'm going to bring that up next week on Toy Anxiety. And it just all comes down to the fact that there's something wrong with us.
I agree. There's that too, or extremely right. But yes, I do think there's an element of different variations of realistic and trying to push that versus trying to make them art pieces and do wacky things with them. Like if all the Boba Fetts were radically different, like one was realistic and one was translucent orange and one was glow in the dark, like maybe you start seeing a different group of fans really loving that. But a large part of these major, franchises, the American toy companies, it's like they want action figures and they want them to look like what they see on screen.
Right.
And it's just a different mindset. But you're right. It's absolutely right that, a repaint using the same mold and maximizing that profit, and everything you can is a negative in one hand, a big negative. And then it's the lifeblood of entirely different side of toys. So, yeah, that is an awesome topic.
It's weird.
More than happy to join that one.
we're buying the same sculpt from 40 years ago over here in Sofubi form, and we love it.
And we ask for that. Like, that's the thing. It's just so weird. It's like, it's not like, oh, we're happy with it. It's like, no, like, I want you to do this sculpt. Yeah, do this, but then can you make it another wacky color that, you know, doesn't make any sense?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
That's awesome.
That's so great. What a great idea. What a great topic.
Yeah. Good job, me.
Yeah, good job.
well, that will lead us over to pickups. Now, I know, I think we both had very, very small. It's almost Christmas time. You got to buy for other people, whatever. So, like, I think we both have one pickup this week. Is that
one goddamn
right?
pickup?
We'll see what you got there.
Okay. Well, speaking of, let's take a Marusan sculpt that I already have. 1, 2, 3. This will be my 5th one of this sculpt.
Okay.
One of my favorite kaiju. I know it is the favorite kaiju of Nick Sides, one of our good friends in the kaiju community. And that is, of course, Titanosaurus. And I was able to get from the Marusan pop-up Godzilla shop. They did a partner, actually not Marusan, sorry, the Tokusatsu DNA. They did a pop-up shop. It was a Marusan lucky bag that they did.
Oh, I know which one this is.
That had a glow-in-the-dark blank and an orange clear blank of Mecha Godzilla and Titanosaurus. And I got the orange clear Titanosaurus here. And I absolutely love it. The orange clear, so, you know, it doesn't show up great here. I mean, a lot of the translucents don't, but this looks really great on a shelf. And I absolutely love it. And everybody will know the Marusan sculpt is the one with the tongue sticking out really far on for Titanosaurus. I love the Marusan sculpt a lot, but it's great. And I love this piece, and I was really excited to get it and add it to the collection, to my Titanosaurus shelf, which now my Titanosaurus Sofubi shelf is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I think 10 deep now. So yeah, I'm loving my Titanosaurus collection. It's growing. It's not at the level of Bio Goji or anything else, but it's closing in.
Yeah. Well, Jay, I'll tell you, I'm looking at my stuff, and I have 0 Titanosaurus figures.
We gotta fix that.
And I've never really felt like I needed one, but I'm being 100% honest with you. I was looking at Toku Toy Town, your website, best place to get kaiju figures. I was looking at it yesterday, maybe, or the day before or something. And that Titanosaurus was on there. And as I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this is one of those things we've talked about where this is a character I've never needed, but I would buy that. Like, this is one I want. I want this orange translucent figure. So, like, it's a cool one. It's a good pickup.
It is. Yeah. But that's all I got, man. How about you?
Okay. I also only have one thing, and it's dumb. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It's a dumb thing.
I love,
but it's in the packaging. I have the box for it. It's been opened, but I have the box, and the box was kind of a big sell. It was kind of cheap. Jay, we have talked multiple times about TriStar's Godzilla 1998 and how much we kind of hate it, or I don't know. Like, I have such mixed feelings for that movie. But one thing that I liked about that movie is, you know, I was in middle school when that came out, and I have a lot of nostalgia for the toys and for the marketing and for all that stuff. So I do still like to pick up Godzilla 98 stuff if I see it, you know. And I think this might have been the dumbest thing they put out. I think this might have been the stupidest toy they released.
And that's saying something.
And it is this Battle Action 8 where he doesn't have any spines, but instead he has a handle on his back.
Yes.
He has this weird, ugly handle and the handle has scales on it as if it's supposed to be a part of him. And, it's got buttons, the legs move, the arms move, the mouth opens. There's tail whipping, sound and action, foot stomping, jaw chomping, and claw slashing. It, like, sounds cool, but it's like, I don't know. It's kind of dumb, but it's in the packaging, and it was pretty cheap. I found this at a thrift store. So I bought it. So I fucking bought it. So what? I needed the box.
Yeah, and that's a rule. If you ever see, this is for everybody, anybody that listens, if you see a box at a thrift store that contains a Godzilla with a handle, you buy it.
Yeah,
That's just a simple
buy
rule.
it.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's so dumb made me want it more. You know, like like I do not know. I mean, hey, and I'll be honest, like we're doing our list here. My list last year had the ultimate Godzilla on it, and I still want that. I didn't carry it over onto my list because I wanted to put all new stuff, but I still want the ult. That's a cool toy. Like, what doesn't? I don't care what you think of the movie. Some of the toys are cool. This one's dumb,
100%.
but some of them are cool. But yeah, that's my pickup.
100%, man. I totally agree, and that is a really cool pickup. That box is awesome. I mean, if nothing says like mass market, Trendmasters, giant big box toy store, I mean, that thing wouldn't even fit at a Target or a Walmart nowadays. And that's just the Godzilla with the handle, not even the ultimate one.
There were like 3 more bigger than that one. That was cool. I actually I found one of the toy groups I'm in on Facebook. Somebody is selling a bunch of shipping boxes, just the shipping cases, the brown cases that the toys came in. And he's selling them for like $40 a piece, just empty boxes. And I'm like, let me see what he's got. And I'm looking at it, and he's got like some Kenner Jurassic Park stuff, you know, some old Star Wars, but he's got TriStar Godzilla, Trendmasters Godzilla stuff. And I was like, do I want that? And I don't. But
I thought you were gonna say you had a Cloverfield one.
I would have bought that.
Yeah.
I would have bought that for sure. But like the shipping boxes, I'm not a big those don't display well. Like, what are you gonna do with it? Just throw it in your closet. So
yeah, 100%.
Passed on those, but thought it was cool.
That is awesome, man. Well, congrats. That's a cool pickup, and that will look cool. I'm excited to see when you get all the room done, everything like that, and to see kind of what the new display looks like and how you display some giant box like that. It has to be really cool.
I think I'm gonna, last year around Christmas time, I always visit my mom for Christmas, and she's got an IKEA where she lives. And last year I bought a good number of shelves with Christmas time, and we're hitting that year mark. It's Christmas time in a week, or I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. So I will be hitting up IKEA, and I think I'm gonna see what they got. Maybe buy some more cases and try to do a little more work in this toy room coming up. So
excellent, man. That's awesome, dude. But that's all I got. I mean, I can't believe this is a rare time where both of us only have one pickup.
Short. It's only 20 minutes in and we're done with the pickups. Jay, I don't know if I know usually sometimes we talk about like movies that we've watched, and I don't know if you've seen anything new, but I do have a movie that I watched I wanted to talk about.
I haven't. I'm trying to think of even what I've been watching just to kill some time. Kaiju or not, I can't even think. I mean, I have no idea. So no, the answer is no. How about you?
One thing, Netflix, this movie released on Netflix, I think it was last Thursday or Friday, called Troll.
Yes, you mentioned that to me. I have not watched it yet, but you can spoil it. That's totally cool.
So I watched it, and it's fine. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's not, there's nothing groundbreaking in it. But the thing that I noticed about it, and you will notice when you watch, and I've seen multiple people in groups talk about it, is it feels like they took, a quarter of 4 different MonsterVerse movies, piece them together, and then just rendered a troll on top of whatever. Because like the movie starts off and there's a character in like a mine or something, and they're like trying to outrun a cloud of, and I'm like, okay, well, that's the beginning of Godzilla 2014.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie is straight, like, dude, I've seen people post side by sides of Kong Skull Island and Troll, and there is a scene where a bunch of helicopters are fighting the troll, and it's like the helicopters are circling it in slow motion. It is almost shot for shot Skull Island. Like,
oh my God,
straight up, dude. And then they also like kind of try to make the troll like not really. It's like you kind of feel bad for it at some point, and then it helps. It like saves somebody, and you're like, oh, Troll's kind of a good guy, kind of like Godzilla, not really bad. The movie's fine. It's weird. It's very. Did you ever see Troll Hunters that came out a couple years ago?
I know of it. That is one actually that kind of slipped through the cracks. I have not seen that one.
Troll Hunter, it was better. It has multiple trolls. It's like a little sillier, but they feel like they could be sequels from each other.
Same universe.
So, but it's got a giant troll in it. So there you go.
I've seen some of the
worth a watch. It's on Netflix. It's whatever.
Yeah, I've seen some of the images, and I was like, man, I'd love to see this guy battle some gargantuas, maybe Toho Frankenstein.
Dude, that'd be cool.
Yeah. No, it looked cool. It looked great. Everything was whatever. I haven't got around to watching that. I'm so far behind on stuff.
I hear you.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. I have to put it on there. I have to see if now I won't be able to watch it and not think of
you won't. But dude, I was watching it, and it was just like every 5 minutes, I was like, cool, that's from Godzilla 2014.
Yeah, I've seen that.
This is from King of the Monsters. This is from Skull. Like, it's very heavily Skull. Like, it looks like the troll stands like it's like. It's basically King. It looks like they took King Kong and just was like, "Well, draw a nose on him, and some hair, make him look a little more like, give him a tail." Like feels like the troll. But anyway, that was it. That's the only new.
Maybe they'll backdoor him into the legendary to the MonsterVerse. Maybe he'll be the next one. Maybe that's who Godzilla and Kong are fighting in the next movie. No, we did not put him on our prediction list.
Don't do it. That's it, man. I guess we can hop into these lists. That's what we're here for.
Well, Jake, I do want to jump into the list, but let's for those that might not have listened to that or watched it, let's recap what we did last year. Let me share this. Here we go. Here is our 2021.
This makes me feel so bad. I don't like looking at this.
No worries, but this will be great to show our evolution of what we've done. And so your top 10 last year, you mentioned the Trendmasters Ultimate Godzilla. You had an X Plus Gigan, which you got this year.
I got one.
One. You had a Marusan 450 Biollante. You had the Feed Me, which is the rough Little Shop of Horrors inspired game, and the Alligator game. You had the press conference Gashapon figures, the one that's Godzilla and Mechagodzilla and Hedorah and Ghidorah apologizing. You had the Marmit Godzilla Towers. You had the big boy, the biggest one on any of our list, I think, one of the Hasbro Cloverfield, which you got.
I got it.
You just had generally like to keep filling out your Litgoji toy collection.
Which I don't know if I feel like I could not have taken a whole year off of Litgoji. Did I? Well, I don't know.
If not,
it's possible I got some of that stuff.
Yeah, we'll do a check on that one. We'll update it. And then you had a number 2, the authentic, not the bootleg one that you can get right now. If you go to Facebook, I'm sure you're getting served an ad one, ad of what the Otaki Factory from Godzilla Singular Point jacket. Not like I said, not the one with the stylized lines, the actual jacket with the real patch. And then last you wanted to get into the X Plus gigantic game with either the 89 or the Shin Godzilla. So that was your list last year. Yours was really diverse. You had Trendmasters, you had X Plus, you had Grail figures like the Cloverfield, you had cute figures, you had Sofubi, you had board games, you had Gashapon, you had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like, a lot of these things I still want. The Feed Me and the Alligator game, those are saved searches. I look at, there was an Alligator game on eBay very recently, like in mint condition. That they wanted, it was like $600.
Whoa!
So like, yeah, that game, if you want it with the box and everything, it's expensive. Litgoji, I'm always looking for.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you one thing about this list. I have cooled on the Marusan 450 Biollante sculpt. I don't think I love that sculpt anymore.
Yeah.
I love Biollante, and it's like part of me still kind of wants that, but that would move off my list. It's not. It's not I'm not even like keeping my eyes out for that anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's what's great about these lists is like this was a snapshot of last December of what was top of line, and we know we and that's a good thing. It's a healthy thing for us to change it and move things up and down and off the list and be like, hey, you know what, I don't like that anymore. And it's great that you didn't end up buying it, that you've cooled on it now. Now you're not trying to sell it or anything like that. It's a lot, better. So let's look at yours now. We looked at yours. Let's look at mine. So here's mine. So I had at number 10, I had the M1 Eiji Tsuburaya set with the Ski Boy. I did get the autograph Kaiju, the Ski Boy, separately, but I didn't get the one that was with AG himself, that M1 set. I had the Marmit gallery version of the Kiryu, the neon yellow and blue. And there's a few of these with varying degrees of neonness of Kiryu. I had the Gigabrain King Ghidorah, the glow rainbow version, if you will. I had the X Plus 68, the Godzilla 68, the 30 centimeter. My number 6 was the Marmit Batra, the Godzilla Wars one. I did pick up, though it was the Metacom re-release of it. That's fine with me. That doesn't mean much to me. I want it for the colors and the sculpt.
Right.
So I did grab that one. I had number 5 just to continue my Marusan 1989 collection. And yeah, we've done that. We've done that in a big way.
For
I
sure.
think I had like 8 or 9 of them last year. And now we're at 49. So great. Number 4, I just haven't seen it, is that Marmit Godzilla Wars Space Godzilla. It's so beautiful. The number 3, number 2, I was able to pick up this year. These were my 2 best pickups of the year, I think. I was able to get that Oxygen Destroyer TOYGRAph Godzilla 54 with the translucent face that has you can see the skull, and the Marusan Crystal Megalon. Those were 2 that I absolutely wanted.
It's a cool toy.
And I'm so glad I was able to pick those 2 up. And then last is that vintage Bullmark Giant Godzilla, the one that we see in Godzilla versus Hedorah, with the tower, like not in mint condition, because I want it to be played in, but I want it with the tower. Now, it's funny because, when you think of like original Godzilla sculpts, Godzilla Hall of Fame sculpts and toys, you think of the original 67 Marusan, the J-Tails and L-Tails, and you think of the 70 when Bullmark took over and did this sculpt. I had this one as number 1. I didn't even have the Marusan one on here, but I have now a vintage 67 Marusan in damn good condition.
Yeah.
And so it's funny, like I ended up, because they're about the same in price. With the tower, the Bullmark can get a little bit pricier, but I was able to snag one of those, but I have not pulled the trigger on that perfect Bullmark Giant Godzilla from 1970. So that was a big one. That was my number 1 last year, so I was not able to cross that one off. But I just thought it was fun to go back and look at these. I did not remember even ever, and to this day, like, I don't know, the Gigabrain, the Glow Rainbow King Ghidorah. Don't even think that's the number 1 Ghidorah that I want. Kind of like your Bylante.
Right. It's
I'm
one.
totally cool on that. And same with X Plus, just in general. Like, I'm very, very particular about which ones I go after now. And I don't know if the 68 would necessarily be on there. I might just get that at some point just to say I have my favorite Godzilla.
Sure.
But yeah, it was crazy kind of looking at this list and trying to remember what I had on there.
It's a good list though, man. It's the same.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's the same. I'm glad I kind of forgot what was on both of our
Me
lists.
too.
Because I'm looking at these and then I'm like, all right, let me write this down so I can look at this up later. But yeah, dude. Well, I think we both had good lists. I'm very excited to see what's on your list for this year.
Yeah.
And to talk about my list as well. And I think we're going to go back and forth. We'll both do our 10s.
I think so.
Both do 9s. We'll kind of go that way.
Yeah.
Jay, I'm going to let you take the floor and go first.
Perfect. So let me add this back to the stream. Number 10 for me.
Hey.
Yes. And I'm going, not really kaiju, but like when you talk about kaiju toys, the ones that we love, a lot of the ones that we love are Sofubi. So you got to have Sofubi Man or Sofubi Man. Now, this one is there's a lot of people that have their Sofubi Man from Max Toyco and the great Mark Nagata. But I love the ones with the casting stations. And I don't care what colorway. I know there's a few now. This was the one. I don't know if this was the one that just came out with Designer Con or not, or it was a different one. Anyway, I just want one with the casting station really bad. I love it. I have my I could have had that as a weekly pickup. Technically, I did get the Max Toyco Sofubi Woman from Designer Con. I did get one of those, so I need a Sofubi Man to pair with her, and
gotta get it.
I'll be able to make, and if I get the casting station, I'll be able to make some Sofubi, imaginary Sofubi. So I'll be super excited. So this was number 10 on my list. It was not on my list last year. Wasn't even on my radar, to be honest with you. And now it's something that I really, 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 really want. And I hope that I can grab maybe the next run that he does.
Is it it's a harder to find figure? You basically got to get it whenever he's putting out the new ones, or
it's been a hard one to get, like just with his drops, and he'll have a few extra ones and stuff. And I just I'm not very good at those, to be honest with you. I mean,
I'll teach you, Jay.
I know, right? you could get this. I don't want to like necessarily overpay too much for it.
Sure.
But
you'd rather just wait for a new release.
Agreed. And there's not like, I want to say this in the right way. I like all of the colorways and all of the designs. There's not one that's like, this is a must have. Like I will be just as happy with any of the colorways. They all look great. And none of them are like, oh my gosh, this is it. Which is a good thing. It's a good thing. Like I'll get any one, I'll be fine. So this was number 10 for me. And it's the only Max Toy Co item on my list. And I'm super excited that that's a new one to add to the top 10 list this year.
I love it. That's perfect. Jay, before I do my number 10, I just want to say really quickly, I don't want to cheat. I don't want to spend a lot of time, but number 11 on my list is an M1 Reptilicus figure, because I want one of those, and I had a hard time. Like, I was like, does this go on the list? But as I was looking, I was like, you know what? This is number 11. So I'm going to say it. But so number 10 on my list before I show it.
Wait, real quick, Jake, real quick.
Yeah.
If number 11 is Reptilicus for you, number 11 is Daigoro for me.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
The bear model Daigoro, number 11. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so my number 10, this is kind of a weird one because I could probably buy these tonight if I really wanted to. Like, I think these are probably my issue with them is that there's not American releases of this. And what I'm talking about is I want the goddamn anime trilogy, and I want Singular Point physical media. I don't love only being able to watch this stuff on. It feels really weird to own every Godzilla movie. I got 32, 31, whatever Godzilla movies in there on Blu-ray, DVD, VHS, whatever. But I can't own these because they're only there's only Japanese releases, and I'm not sure if the Japanese releases play on our DVDs or if I got to get a region free. I don't know. It's a little bit of a you got to do a little bit of research. But Netflix makes it where it's part of their contract is that if it's a Netflix original, there's no physical media. That's their way of it's a little shitty, but I want these. I want all of this. I want to complete. I know some people don't. Jay, I know you don't really love the anime trilogy, but look at these collections. Like, look how good these are. I want to own all Godzilla on physical media, and I need it. So that's my number 10, dude.
I love it, and we can definitely make those happen. That's not a problem. We can get those to you. But you're right. And the cover art and the pull out art and everything of those are great. They're absolutely gorgeous. And I think that's a great number 10. That's a really, really good number 10, and something hopefully when we talk about it next year, we can put the big check mark on that one. Because that's one that we can totally get for you. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Number 9. I want to go big. We're talking 16 inches tall from 2007-ish or whatever from our good people over at Marusan. Giant Gilala. I want to get the giant Gilala, the 16-inch tall one. He's basically like a Marusan 450 series. Yeah. I need this guy. And there was a couple Gilalas I almost put on there. I think there was the Marmit one that's like translucent yellow with like red, and I put him in between my ketchup and mustard ones. It'll be great. But this is the one I really want because it's big and it's going to look cool. And it just has that, I don't know, the Marusan 450 line is awesome. And to have a Gilala that kind of scales in with it would be amazing.
Gilala is one of my favorite new to me discoveries of this past year. It is it's one of my favorite things that we've watched and talked about. He's one of my favorite designs as far as kaiju goes. This is awesome, dude.
Yeah. And it's kind of become a little bit of like our YHS mascot, that or Daigoro's mom. We're the other one talking about Daigoro.
Dude, Daigoro's mom's so hot.
It's like Gilala's our mascot and Manda's our anti-mascot.
True. Yeah.
But anyway, so that's my number 9. Very straightforward. I haven't seen this guy around a ton, so I don't even know kind of where the price ranges fall here. I do hope that I'm able to see one soon and be able to get it for a decent price because I love this guy.
Yeah, love it, dude. Now, my number 9, I know 2 seconds ago I said I don't want to cheat. I cheated on this one.
Nice.
But the reason I cheated, I'll tell you what.
It
makes sense. It makes complete sense. These are kind of. This is kind of. Oh my God. Is this 5 figures? This is kind of 2 sets of figures that kind of go together, and it's the same company. Okay. So you'll see it makes sense. And it is, let me share it with you. This is the Marmit Godzilla 98 with the babies, and also the Marmit Godzilla 67 with Minya. I love all of these. I've talked about, I've looked into maybe trying to get those Godzilla 98 Marmit figures a couple times. I think you had the babies in the store for a while, and then you had them when you're doing Pop Shop. I was like, oh, am I about to buy this? But somebody jumped in. But the 67 in Minya, this is new to me. This is something that I haven't really known about for too long, but I've been seeing them pop up here and there. I know there's a bunch of different colors, and I don't know if this is my preferred color, but I feel like I would almost want either one. All these figures are kind of pricey, but I figured since they're kind of similar, I'm throwing them together as number 9. So
totally cool, man. And I would say the Marmit, the Godzilla 67 and Minya. So that's Marmit. That's their Para Baby line. So that's going to be like a 6-inch scale.
Yeah.
So it's a little smaller. Those are great. And the one you have there is the most common of the colorways, but it's still a very expensive item. It's more, and it's even more expensive than the Godzilla 98 Marmit, which is not cheap. The babies, the 98 babies, you can get them pretty good now, like from a pretty decent price. It's just a matter of finding them, because they're people like them. They get gobbled up pretty easily, right? But they're not too crazy. And I've sold 3 or 4 batches of those on the side, and they are, and I've had them come through here. They are awesome and cool figures. I own the 98. You got to get it. It's an amazing. You won't regret it.
It's just a cool sculpt. Like whether you hate those movies or not, the babies and like all of these figures, they're just great looking figures, man.
100%. Yeah, those are really good ones, and I know a lot of people that would have the 98 Marmits as well as the 67 with Minya on their wish list too. Like these are awesome figures, and I think as we've really got into a lot of the different companies and stuff, we're buying Sun Guts and buying US Toys. And I think compared to maybe 3 or 4 years ago, where like price and size don't correlate, right? And we know that, right? It's more about exclusivity and desirability and colorway. I will say that 67, even though it's a smaller piece, because I have one like right over there, it's not mine, it's for the store, but I have one. I'm actually looking at it right now. It's a really well done, awesome piece. Like Marmit, their Para Baby line is highly detailed, but it is fun and it's really cool. That's a great piece.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so number 8 for me. It's a repeat. We're bringing it back. I think he actually got a promotion from number 9 to number 8.
There he is.
It's the Marmit Gallery version of Kiryu Mechagodzilla. I love this guy. Now, there are a few variants of this. There's actually more than a few variants of this. And there's even a few that have like that highlighter yellow. And there's one that basically it's almost the whole front is. I like this one. It's a little bit more kind of used in detail, but it's still a good amount of it. And that dark blue, blackish gray looking, some of the accents I think really pops. I love this guy. I don't have any Kiryu. It's not my go-to. It's not my go-to Mechagodzilla design. I have a lot of Showa Mechagodzilla, but I don't have Kiryu, and this is the one I want. I've been really, really close of buying the other slightly different variants because I have not seen this one available, but this is one I will jump on if I see it. I think I could probably get this one in like the $150 to $200, $250 range. So it's a not a cheap toy by any means, but it's not like a holy grail. Like you're going to be, taking a month's salary away or anything. Yeah. So this is one that it's just a matter of finding him. I have not seen him available since we talked last holiday wish list. It's just a matter of seeing this specific one pop up because I like this specific one compared to the other guys. And so this is not like Sofubi Man, where like all of them. This is one where like the other ones don't do it as much for me as this guy does.
I was gonna say if this is year 2 on your list, you have to buy this. But Yeah, I see. It's not the kind of thing where it's like out there and you're just not picking
Oh
it
yeah,
up.
it's going to
You
be bought.
can't find it.
And I have another one or two on the list that are in a similar situation where it's not a matter of like I see it and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna wait. It's like I just truly haven't seen it pop up. Um, and this is when it does, I will buy it unless they're
Yeah.
asking some ridiculous amount for, or I only have so much money. It's between this and something higher up on the list. That might be the
Right.
one exception. So yeah, so Kiryu coming back this year.
Love it. Before I do my number 8, Jay, I just
Yeah.
want to say I'm sorry to you because I wonder if this is bothering you that I did not number mine. Your photos look so nice; they're numbered. They got your name up there. Mine, I just threw them together. They're on a white background or whatever. I'm sorry.
No worries. I like it. I knew if you didn't do that, I was going to go and do the same thing for yours. So no
Yeah.
worries. I was going to be an equal opportunity slide builder. But no, we're all good. I think people don't care about the numbers, man. They care about the toy.
True, yeah. So my number 8, this is something I don't own anything by this company, and my picture is going to have multiple figures from them, but
Okay.
I'm talking about one.
Okay.
And Jay, it is the 73 in Raku and Saku. I have kind of over the last like year,
Mhm.
I have started falling in love with these figures.
Yep.
I love every sculpt they do. They're big, clunky figures. The fucking 84 Godzilla there,
Yeah,
it
the
is
Cybot. Yep.
beautiful. And like, I want the Megalon, the 73. That would be my first pick. But I want to this year. I am starting an Enraku collection, and I'm
Nice.
going to start picking these guys up. I don't know how much they are. I don't know if any of them are hard to get or what the rarity. The one where he's holding his tail here, I don't know. That seems like something that would be hard to get because everybody would want it, but I don't fucking know because I've never actually done. I've seen them pop up on your side a few times.
Yeah.
I almost bought one of these whenever I bought the glitter. When I bought the glitter Gigan from you,
you almost bought the 73.
It was going to be between the 73 or the glitter, but I talked to you about it and I was like, well, let's do the glitter Gigan because that's probably the more rare one. But I want these figures. I want them. I want them all.
Yeah, I'm glad Metacom gives us these Unraku and Saku lottery. Most of them are lottery figures, right? Yeah. The 73 is gorgeous. I mean, I sold so many through the site. Like that was one I got a really sweet deal from one of the suppliers out there and was able to bring them stateside for a reasonable like price, like not like the crazy markups. And that one, you can find all of these. They're varying degrees of cost, right? But like nothing is totally ridiculous. The Cybot, the 84 Cybot Godzilla with the purple is what I've been looking for. The 73 is gorgeous. The only Unraku I have, and I've had tons go through the site, is the 68 because I love 68. Now, the second release of the 68, the second colorway. The best one though, and I've almost if it didn't sell so quickly every time I've had it, the next one I get, I'm going to get for myself. It's the 95, the black and the gold. Because it's like the gold is like translucent with the glitter inside of it. Like, it is gorgeous. And it is like, it's when you look at it up close, you like start noticing things that you don't. And the 95, the gold, and there's multiple colorways of that one, is absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, this is I know a lot of people when they get their first Enraku, it just means that they start buying. That's like their focal point because they're really cool and they look cool displayed together. And that's one of the cool things about is when you have all of them. But yeah, that's one that
I just love how chunky they are. And the 73 is always, Godzilla versus Megalon is it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And that face is so like undeniably that Godzilla. And I gotta pick one of these guys. It's like it's been itching me for a while. And I was like, I gotta put these on the list. So So I remember back when we were first talking about Unraku and Saku, when they really were starting making waves about, a year or so ago. Yeah. And I wasn't a fan because like the initial ones that I saw were the plain 84 Cybots and then like the puppet version of the 54, right? And I still don't love those. They're not my favorite. And then even the 64, I love the 64 Godzilla, the one like the little Mothra that comes with it and stuff. It still like didn't get the hype.
But then when they started doing the 73, when they started doing the finger smell, from 66, they started doing the flying Godzilla from Hedera, and the multi-colorways on the 95 and the Cybot. I've turned a corner. I'm not saying I'm a huge Unraku fan. I mean, I only have one, but I've had probably about 8 or 9 different ones come through the site.
Sure.
I absolutely understand the draw.
Yeah.
And I'm going back and I'm saying I was wrong. I was not a forward thinker like you guys, and I was wrong, and I have become a converted to Unraku to some degree.
I mean, there are a few of them that aren't my favorite. There are a few of the sculpts where I'm like, I might not get that. But the ones that I love. Yeah. So it's like, this is I will have at least one of these by next year for sure.
I sold my last 73, the last toy show I did, which I talked about on here. I was setting up, and another guy named Gary Harmon, who runs Toy Matrix, they booth at G-Fest. They're a big time collectibles dealer, Star Wars, everything, but they're really big in the kaiju community as well. And Gary came and bought my last 73 from me. And it was the one that was earmarked for. I had it on a notepad, potential Jake. It was still on there.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. Now, I'm excited to share with you my number 7 because we've never talked about these. But I think these could have easily been on your list too. And I think we might have to start talking about these and really, I don't know. I just feel that you might really love these. I might be wrong, but I have a little bit of a guess that you will. So number 7, it's a collection from Metacom, and there's multiple colorways, but 3 main figures. I just put one set on here because there's lots of cool ones. The Metacom Toys Harryhausen line.
Oh my god.
So I put a Cyclops and the Dragon and the Ymir here. These are the 3 that they do, but there's multiple colorways of them. But this is just like I said, the first one I got. They varying degrees of kind of their normal colors versus whatever. But this is from Metacom. Metacom has a lot of great licenses. This is one of them. And these are not cheap. They're hard to find. They're expensive. They're a focus thing. But I always have been like, not complaining to you, but like, honestly, like I so many times I'm like, do I just sell my entire Ninja Turtles collection and make room for Harryhausen X Plus? But then I was like, this might be my solution, because I could get 3 of these for the cost of, a couple X
What
pluses.
size? How big are these?
I don't have the exact size, but I do think these are kind of standard Sofubi. I think they're in that 7 to 9 inches.
7 or 8. That's what they look like they would be to me. Yeah. This Ymir figure
it's gorgeous.
It's on my list now. That's a beautiful figure, and I will need that.
Yeah, and they have, like I said, they have various colors of all of them. Where, like, once again, they have a Cyclops that's more realistic and stuff like that. But and there's some other cool Sofubi Cyclopses out there. But as far as like getting this little trio, this triumvirate from Harryhausen, this is one that bumped into my list once I discovered they existed. And like, I gotta find these and get them at a good deal. But they're not easy. But hey, nothing on these lists is really super easy. I mean, it's not like we could go down to Target and buy one. So, but yeah, I thought you would get a kick out of those.
Yeah, I love those. I'm annoyed now that I did not know those existed. Those are great. Yeah. So what are we on? 7? Now my 7. I think you're not a fan of this figure. I put it on here because I want to complete a collection. Yeah. But let's see. Let me pull them up here. Sun Guts, Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
I need this guy. I really love the Sun Guts sculpts. I have their other, the other forms of Shin, and I mean their colorways aren't all matching, but I have a couple. I got like 3 of them. So, but I don't have any final form Shins, and I'm not like married to this one exactly. I know they did one with an open mouth. I don't think I want like any of the ones. Like, I don't really love the one that's like all gray, the stone one or whatever, the frozen one. I like this one a lot. I've seen one that's like black and purple with its mouth open. This one is on here because it's one I've kind of been like going back and forth about for a while. And I feel like I need it to go with the other Shins. I love Shin Godzilla, and I just love the fucking weird Sun Guts sculpts.
Yeah. Now I will tell you, like, I have on Sun Gut Shin just in general. It's my take is a little interesting. Like, I absolutely adore and love the second stage, the Kumada Kun version,
Yeah.
like the little guys, like all the colorways, everything. Like, they are amazing. Like, I mean, the collectability, but also if you only have one, it's awesome.
Yeah.
This one, the variants of this one I've had come through, and it just, to me, like, I think Sun Guts has a certain size and style where when you get them, they are second to none. And when you get to this size and like, you just feel them and like you hold it up there, it loses a little bit of the charm. And there's nothing outwardly looking at this sculpt that is bad. It's fine. It's great. Like, we're totally worth the price. But I will say, like, when I've sold these through the site and different variants, like, I just picking it up and I'm like, this just doesn't feel like Sun Guts to me. And that is a hot take of one person, right? But and that's the only reason I don't love this sculpt in the larger Sun Guts more than I do some of their other stuff they do, which I absolutely adore. I really do. I feel like they're great in that 3 to 6 inch scale. Then after that, I don't know. I don't think that that's their wheelhouse. And once again, sample size of one, but overall, like, Sun Guts is amazing, but this is just not my favorite toy. Sculpt's fine.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I love it enough that it's number 7 on my list. So
you gotta complete that collection.
I gotta get it. And hey, if I get it and it's in my hands and I'm like, oh, then I'll tell you that I think you're right. You know, I have a couple figures that I've gotten and then it sort of felt that way. Like, I thought it looked amazing and then got it and I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I'll put this in the back. But I'm hoping that I have the opposite reaction. I really love Shin and I love Sun Guts. So
I'll tell you now, you have the best of the Sun Guts Shins already. Like, I think you have one of my, like, if I had to go buy a Sun Guts Shin Godzilla, it would be the one that you have already. So
what are you talking about, the
Kumada
second form or okay.
Second one, yep.
Yeah. I love it. That's a great toy.
Yeah. So my number 6 is the one that probably maybe tied for or up there the most expensive toy on the list for me. Okay. And it's one that it's really cool, but I also kind of get where people don't love it because it's not everybody's favorite kaiju. And it's probably too much for what it is. But number 6 for me, from our good friends at Marusan, the transparent Varan, the kind of Aurora style, if you will.
Holy shit.
Now I've seen this bad boy. A few years ago, you could probably get these guys for like $500, right? Now, like, the last one I saw go that I actually saw the price it went for, I'm sure there's been wheeling and dealing on back ends and Facebook groups that are cheaper, but the one I saw go on an auction site went for $1,100 US. So that's not going to happen anytime soon for a clear Varan. So that's not happening, but you just never know when you stumble on one that might make a little bit more sense financially. So this is probably the biggest stretch on my list because there's one that's in that ballpark, but like, I do feel like I don't say it's more worth because it's hard to put a value on it. But if I had only that much money to spend, I would pick this one over Varan. That's why it's higher on the list. But this one is really cool. I mean, it is a very, very awesome colorway. I mean, it's so cool. And it's like natural light hits it. It's Aurora.
It reminds this also Varan. The only Varan figure I own is a Trendmasters Varan figure.
Good one though.
It's a good one, but Varan is another one that I would never would he be at the top of my list. This figure is beautiful. It's an art piece. This is like the Killer Clowns from Outer Space variant or something. It's like it's the colors, the little bit of green and purple in there. It looks like this looks like cotton candy. I love it. Yeah. I love that toy. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It is cool. And I, like I said, most of my Varans I have are Marmits. One of my favorite Sofubi items of all time is a Marmit Varan. This one would be, it's hard pressed to beat this one. This one's pretty cool, but the price tag, it's just hard to find. Yes. And also really expensive. Those usually go hand in hand, unfortunately. Yeah. So that's my number 6.
Cool. Love it, dude. So my number 6 is one you have kind of been on the lookout for me for a while. It is one that we've looked for, not been able to find. It is, let me share him here. We got a Marusan Garamon figure.
Ah, yes.
Specifically the pink translucent.
Yes.
This is a beautiful toy. I love
Gorgeous.
the sculpt. The pink translucent is just, it just looks good. You know what? I am open to other translucents of this. I saw that there are some other translucents. I'm open to maybe picking those up as well, but the pink one is the best. I saw this a while back. Somebody else was selling it. I did not buy it. And then I've had you look for it a few times. It's harder to get. I think this one was some sort of exclusive somewhere. It wasn't. Maybe it's a little more rare than the others.
Yeah.
But I love this sculpt. Garamon / Pigmon is just one of the best kaiju ever. And that's, I don't have anything else I can say. It's my number 6. I want this.
You know what's hard about this one? Because I agree. This one is absolutely stunning. And I had never seen this specific one until you showed it to me. And it's crazy because there's, maybe with the exception of Hedera, there's Pigmon Garamon's done probably more than any other
There's
kaiju.
a ton. There's a ton.
And there's a lot that are translucent, but not the Marusan sculpt or not, this old vintage Marusan sculpt or not, there's just like, there's slight variations, but like, this is the one I think that like is the best, but like, you could get similar ones, but you always know that this one is the best one out there.
Marusan's done 100 of these. Like, if you like Google Marusan Garamon, so many pop up. There's so many colorways, and some of them are great. And I also would love to own, but this is the best. And I've been trying to hold out for this one specifically.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I'm gonna see. I was trying to see if I could do a quick search to see if I knew what the what event it came from. But yeah, but like there's is this the large? Is this the 450 version, like the large ones?
I think it is.
So, so cool. And I'd have to do a little more research. I didn't know because I wasn't until you showed it to me. I wasn't sure if it was the Marusan sculpt, but it was released by Modern Bullmark or M1.
Yeah, I mean that's all possible. I don't have that deep of knowledge for it. I just know that I don't own it.
Yeah, that's an awesome piece. Like if I see that and there's 2, I'm buying one as well.
Yeah, for sure.
That's really cool. There's a really cool. I almost put it actually on my list. There's a cool translucent, all pink, same style U.S. Toys Pigmon. Garamon.
Cool.
Which is, it's like if you took that and shrunk it down and you did the US toy style, it's really cool too.
I almost put some, I don't have any US toys on my list, but I almost did just because like that's also one of those collections I want to kind of keep going throughout the year, but it's not on my list. So,
well, so you know how I said that Varan is probably tied with the most expensive toy. This one is the other one that would be tied with.
Okay.
Slightly above halfway there. And you know, this one, we've talked about this one. This is from TOYGRAPh, and this is the TOYGRAPh Toho Tokyo Tower. This is I mean, a lot of people have this. This is a great piece. It's a signature piece with all the little kaiju. Hedera kind of sitting on the ledge there. Gorosaurus and Baragon both kind of tunneling out, which I think is so funny because, Baragon does that, but also Gorosaurus does in Destroy All Monsters because it was supposed to be Baragon. Mothra up at the top. Godzilla. I mean, I love this. There's nothing more quirky and whimsical and silly and fun and cute and amazing than this piece. I love TOYGRAPh. They do great stuff. And once again, this is a piece that everybody's seen. Everybody knows about it. But I haven't put it in the collection yet. And I've been close to pulling the trigger once. And in fact, I almost did. But literally an hour or so later when I was thinking on it, the TOYGRAPh Oxygen Destroyer Godzilla popped up. And so I went that route instead of this one. But this is up there, and I'm going to continue to actively search for it. And I know what it costs, and hopefully I'll find one a little bit cheaper. But I will probably need a plan for this one. But I love it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else I can add to that. That's a toy that I would want in my collection as well, especially since I like the cute stuff. So,
yeah, and it's going. And TOYGRAPh does great stuff. They have my anything that they've done, I will usually kind of gravitate to.
Sure.
All right, what do you got for number 5, man?
My number 5. So Jay, I know you know that I have an extensive. I have kind of a large Trendmasters collection.
A giant Trendmasters collection.
Some Trendmaster stuff is really hard to get. It's really hard to find, and my maybe second favorite kaiju of all time was a rare one, and that is Megalon. Trendmasters put out a Megalon figure, and he's recognizable as Megalon.
Oh, yeah.
He's not as bad as some of the others.
No.
But Trendmasters had a habit of like putting muscles on figures and just making them weird. And I have the Baragon, I have the Varan. I need Megalon. I have a ongoing watch for Megalon on eBay. I check for him. This is one I want. This will be a little more expensive if you can find him. I would love to get him in a packaging, but I would take him loose just as well. And there are some variants, like slight color variants. I think they probably, I'm not 100% sure on a lot of Trendmaster stuff came out in like 3 different scales. I don't know if they did that, if they got that far with Megalon. To me, it looks as if the one that's in the open box here, that's usually the bigger ones. And I think the one in the bubble might be maybe like a 6-inch scale, but I don't know for sure. But I do know that I love Megalon and I want this.
And the one with the larger one with the button in its chest, is it a sound function?
Yeah. A lot of the big ones had the sound. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is awesome. What is something like this? Because I had my Trendmasters, but I bowed out before Doom Island and before the late Godzilla War stuff.
Trendmasters
is
right expensive. Trendmasters is expensive. Usually in a package, you're looking at 100 or more. Varan, Baragon, and Megalon are the rarer ones. The last Megalon I saw was like $400 or some bullshit like that. And like, you can get them cheaper. Sometimes people, like, especially on eBay, people sell these just not. Like people who just, their kids had Godzilla toys and don't. Like you can find a lot of Trendmaster stuff like that. But I have noticed in the last couple of years, Trendmaster stuff is going up. It's becoming collectible. Anytime I see it in stores or at a show or something, it's always like, oh, Trendmaster, dude. Like the Trendmasters. I'm looking. I have one, but I have one or two. Trendmasters put out the little like micro play sets.
Oh yeah, I love the micro.
Those in the packaging. I saw one recently. It was like $450.
Yeah, because like when they were open, you never kept all the pieces. So like, it's the only way you get them complete.
Yeah. Those are Trendmasters is expensive, man, and Megalon is on the upper tier of that. But I want him.
I actually bid on, because I really wanted some of the battle armor, the late battle armor, like Kumanga and Anguirus and stuff. And
Kumanga is another really hard to get. So like they did not to cut you off, but like the battle armor stuff was coming out a lot when they were doing Godzilla Wars. But Kumanga was a Doom Island thing. Like Doom Island is the stuff that like didn't come out. Like it came out very, very shortly, and then it was canceled and it went away. And then there's the Godzilla Doom Island stuff, and then there's the Godzilla stuff that also has dinosaurs with it.
I remember that.
Kumanga was a part of, like, there was no Kumanga until Doom Island, so
it's crazy.
He's hard to get.
Yeah, very cool stuff, man. I love it, and you can't have a Jake list without something from Trendmasters. Yeah, the Ultimate Godzilla last time. Now you got some Megalon. I hope you find this. This just screams you with your connection to Megalon and Trendmasters. Like, you got to get this.
It's for me. That's my toy.
I kind of want you to do like a deep dive into Trendmasters Godzilla for YHS on Monster Island. Toy Anxiety, like a crossover. I mean, you could have like
for sure, dude. For sure.
I love it, man. Well, mine is not Trendmasters for the next one, but it's going back to this guy, a little Titanosaurus action. My number 4. This is
2 Titanosaurus on the list. Wow. Okay.
So we got this was one that was an exclusive event, and you've seen this colorway with other kaiju as well, but they were exclusive to this kind of roundtable dinner and talking toy show that they did in Japan. and this is the Marmit Titanosaurus. This is a beautiful multicolored blue sparkly Marmit Titanosaurus, and I love that sculpt. I have a few of it, but I don't have this one. This is one I could go buy now. In fact, I know a person with it that's looking to sell it. It's at the upper tier of what I think this should cost, but it's one that you can acquire. It's just expensive.
Yeah.
But I absolutely adore this piece. This is one that does look better in person than even this image. It's a beautiful, absolutely stunning piece in person. And like you put it on the shelf, it just dwarfs everything else it's like your eyes just go straight to it. It is a beautiful, absolutely just stunning piece. I love Titanosaurus. I love super exclusive stuff like this. I'm a big Marmit fan. I love their sculpt of it, and we get glitter and wacky colors, and it's just amazing. I do think I would, if I had to guess of the bigger ticket items, this is probably one that I feel like I probably will get this year.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of kind of at what point does that happen, especially if I get a little frustrated with not finding some of the stuff higher up on the list because it's really hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
But this is absolutely love it, and I hope to have this guy in the collection soon.
He's great. He's
Yeah.
great, dude. Yeah. I love that you have 2 Titanosaurus figures.
Oh, I got
in your
lots of stuff
list.
in there. Oh yeah.
My what number is this? 4?
It's number 4.
My number 4 is not. It's a collection.
Okay.
There's not one thing in this collection that is, this stuff is rare. We've looked for it. I've looked for it. It's not it's nothing crazy, but it's, last year I had Lit Goji on my list just in general because I was like heavy into collecting that stuff. This one is, and now I stole this picture from Monster Island Buddies just in case he's listening. I don't know. I took your photo because I want your collection of Godzilla Land stuff. Godzilla Land, however you want to say it. These are the cutest figures I've ever seen. These are, and I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. There were figures, there were flocked figures, all of the kind of colorful stuff in the back. Those are all erasers, but they just look like This is a line. I love the way these look. I love this cartoon. Godzilla I love her. I love all of this stuff. I love the animated look, and I have a good bit of the Lit Goji stuff. So this, you can see he's got his Lit Goji stuff over to the right.
It pairs nicely.
It pairs nicely. Yeah. It's perfect. This is stuff that's been on my mind really heavily lately. And me and you, Jay, did like an off-air deep dive into like trying to find some of the stuff. Yeah. And we found none of it. We could not find any. We looked for probably a good hour. Yeah. Looking for any of these figures, any of the erasers, any of the stuff. Sometimes you can find like some of the random shit, but the figures, the erasers, it's hard to find. Yeah. I
think we found like 2 of the flocked figures, and that was it.
Yeah, but they weren't even like they weren't in great condition or anything. It wasn't like anything we were comfortable about picking up. So I want this stuff. I want this collection. I need to grow it. And that's it.
Well, we can have this conversation off air, but I might know somebody who in a couple of weeks will be getting the Godzilla Land board game. So
okay, all right, that's a thing. Yeah. Sure, we'll talk about it. I'll need it.
That's a cool one. I'm excited. I do think it's I wouldn't say a natural evolution, but it makes sense with all the stuff that you did with the Lit collection and kind of moving over there to natural progression or moving over there.
I feel like we could do now. I said that I stole that picture from Monster Island Buddies. If anybody's listening, he has some great videos on. Yeah, he has done all of the research and has put out like it's a 2 or a 3-part video all about everything. And I do own some of that on VHS. I have a tattoo from it. I love it. I love the way it looks. I love how weird, and it's all really fun stuff. And I need more of it.
I love it, dude. I love it. That's great. And that's a fun one. Like you can just kind of always find new stuff, or at least be exposed to new stuff, and the finding it, tracking it down is the hard part. But it's one that you can do for years and years and years. So my number 3 is a repeat from last year because guess what? I haven't been able to find it. If I ever see this, I will buy it. And I will overpay for it, but it is from Marmit as well. It is that Godzilla Wars version of Space Godzilla. all the variants here are cool.
Yeah.
The problem is all the variants are very expensive. And so I guess the more realistic outcome is I eventually acquire one of them. And I want to hold out for this one. Now, here's the thing. I haven't seen any of them really pop up. So it's not like I chose to wait for this one. Like, I think push come to shove, I probably would have just jumped on one of the other ones.
Yeah.
And just sold it if that came ever found this one. But this is the one I really want. Something about this one speaks to me. I love it. I love that kind of North Carolina blue. It has that light, bright blue. It's just gorgeous. And we've talked about this. Space Godzilla is one of both of our favorites designs. And whether it's Mondo, which that stuff could have easily been on my list, or X Plus, or it does not matter if it's Space Godzilla or the Goji line. All of them are great interpretations of Space Godzilla. And I think this one with this colorway, man, I really want it. I really need it.
Yeah. I think, this is beautiful. This is one of the most beautiful things on either one of our lists, I think.
Yeah.
So,
I just want it. Come on, somebody post it. Like,
I want you to have it, Jay.
So yeah, that was it. That's a repeat. It was number 4 last year, and it got bumped up because one newish thing added, and then number 3 and number 2 last year I ended up acquiring, so it got the promotion.
There you go, man. So hitting my number 3, I guess these last 3 are a little more expensive, I think. And now this figure, I've been heavy into the Harryhausen this year.
Yeah,
I bought a lot of Harryhausen stuff. And, I bought that X Plus Kraken, which really makes me want, the 1980 Mattel Kraken. I want this thing. I want this whole line. There were only like 5 figures in this line. It's a very small line, very expensive. I've seen this Kraken a couple times here and there, but it's always like either broken or somebody wants too much money for it. Now, friend of the show, Ryan Wilhelm, has reached out to me, and he said that they had one, at the shop he works at. And at the time, I was like, no, I can't just buy it. I'm still paying for the other crap. I can't buy this one yet. But it's on my list. I want to pick him up this year. He is a little expensive.
Yeah, a lot expensive.
I've seen people have them. Look at. I just imagine that sitting next to the X Plus on the shelf, and that image of what it could be, what I could have, puts this guy at number 3 on my list.
Yeah. This is it's a grail figure for a lot of folks. It is kind of, up there with like the toys that everybody knows is a rare toy. It's hard to find. It's awesome. And you also obviously have the unique connection to Harryhausen. Obviously, it's so big for you, so that adds to it. Like, yeah, I hope you find it. I was about to say, the moment this drops, when he listens to it, Ryan's going to be If you got
Ryan, if you guys still got it, if you guys still got it, just let me know.
I love it.
We'll talk, but I'm not sure. So,
And I'm excited because I think it'll be really cool when you because most people, I'm assuming the Kraken's probably the last piece they get from this collection. Like to basically display all those 4 or 5 pieces up front of the Kraken. I think it would look really cool in a display. Yeah, that's a great line. And I hope, you can get some Harryhausen, the Clash of the Titans vintage collection. I'll get some Metacom, Harryhausen, Sofubi. You'll have your X Plus. We'll just have a Harryhausen party, man.
Let's do it.
So my number 2 is it's a repeat, and it was my number 1 last year because it's still there. And that, of course, is the Bullmark Giant Godzilla with Tower. I want it with Tower. There's not much more I can say about it. I've talked about this guy for a long time. I know a lot of people have theirs. I don't know. I can't say like what degree of degradation I would be acceptable with. I have a feeling that I see it, I'll know that's the one I want.
Yeah.
And it's like, picking out a dog from the shelter or whatever, like that's mine, I feel I'll know what it is. And I do want, like I said, I do want the Tower. And hopefully I get it this year. It's just a matter of seeing it. These things aren't like, this is not the most expensive thing on the list. This is one of the lower end, but I think with Tower and the better condition you get, they can get really pricey really fast. So, and this is one also, like if it comes with Tower, if it's pretty worn in, and there's a a Japanese kid's name written on the bottom of the foot. I'm okay with that.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
I agree. Like my vintage stuff, like I just don't want any broken parts, but like wear and tear and dirt and like some paint wear or a lot of paint wear, and that I'm down. I'm down. Let's do it. And so I'm hoping to find one soon. But once again, this is one I've been a little bit more by design picky on instead of just buying the first one I see, because I want this one. I have a place for it, and it's going to be with my other vintage. And it's going to be my even though I love you, 67 Marusan. I know you were the original. I know you're the first, and none of this would exist if you didn't succeed. But this, to me, it would be my signature vintage piece, even over the 67 J-Tail.
Yeah. This specific figure for me is like, it's not my favorite sculpt.
Not at all.
I look at it and I'm like, it's kind of an ugly toy. But the significance and the importance of this figure and what it is makes it like a top of the list kind of figure. And I want you to have it, Jay.
Yeah, and that's 100% it. This is not my favorite sculpt. This is it, but it's big. I love it. It's giant and it's kind of bulky and just very like 70s. But like, because this was in Godzilla versus Hedorah, this is one of the first Godzilla toys I ever saw in person or on TV, right? And and Ken sliding him down the slide and everything. Like, that's why it's everything around it, what this toy means in the within the greater Godzilla universe and fandom. But yeah, that's it. That's what's driving it, is because I feel like it's an important piece, and I that's why I want it. It's for no other reason. And I love its charming qualities, but I would not. It is not even my favorite vintage sculpt of Godzilla.
Yeah, sure, cool. I get it.
Okay, what do you got for number 2? The runner-up, not quite the number 1 toy that you want.
Now, number 2 might be, I don't know what the rarity of these are. I'm pretty sure you have one. But I don't know. I know for a while they were out there, but number 1 for me is the
it's number 2.
Number two. Now, this one is a signed figure. Okay. I want a signed M1 Haru Nakajima figure.
Nice.
I have a unsigned. Yeah. But this might be the best figure of all time. Like, this might be, in my opinion, the best figure of all time. And I know he signed a bunch of these, and they're out there. And the fact that he is gone, he was the first man and maybe the best man to ever put on the suit. And I want, this feels like an important figure. A signed Haru Nakajima. It just seems like something that I've been, at first I didn't really feel a need for it, but now I do. Like, it's just been like, that just feels like something I need.
Yeah, the brown one you see, because that was the last like big wave that he signed, like in bulk, right? Not in bulk, but like it was a designated signing. Whereas like the other ones, like people have gotten them signed over the years at all the conventions he did, like 100%. And his daughter, I think, still helps validate like if they're real signatures or whatever, which is great. But the brown ones are typically the ones that you see out there. That's the one that I have. It's definitely not as rare as getting one of the other ones signed. But yeah, the prices, it's autographs. That's such a wacky market. And the Nakajima, the brown Nakajima by itself is not super expensive, but the autograph versions, they can get up there, but nothing crazy. It's not. You're not talking Cloverfield prices. I mean, it's definitely doable. And you'll see the autograph one pop up every now and then. Heck, I saw it on eBay. Like, I mean, no joke. So that's one that you can acquire.
I have no kind of preference for colors. I picked this because I thought this was a cool image, and it's just anyone with the, I owned the one that I wanted. Yeah. So anyone with an autograph, I feel like it's a must have. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's one that we can track down for you when the timing is right. It's a really cool piece. I love mine, and I agree with you, man. I think well said. It's probably the best Sofubi item, Godzilla toy kaiju collectible out there. And we always talked about if there was a Sofubi Hall of Fame. The one episode last year when you were gone and I just kind of rambled on for like 45 minutes was like, what pieces would I have in my like the inaugural class of a Sofubi Hall of Fame? And I was like, the Marusan J-Tail L-Tail from 67, the giant Godzilla we just talked about for those reasons. The M1 Haru Nakajima, those would be kind of my first 3 from a Godzilla standpoint. You'd probably want to induct like the original 66 Marusan Ultra Kaiju ones and stuff. But this
for anything that's basically was made in the modern era, like 90s on, this I think is the piece that you go. The first non-vintage piece would be this one. It's that important.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I love that one.
I agree.
And I feel like are you really a Sofubi collector until you have a Nakajima? I know that's a terrible gatekeeping thing to say, but
it is a gatekeeping thing.
I
but
just feel like it's like that is like I feel like once you have that, it's like,
well, Jay, it was the figure that you know, when I didn't have it, I felt like a failure, you know, in my life and in my collecting and my hobby. I was just like, why don't I own this? And you know, when I finally found the one I want and bought it, it felt, you know, a lot of times buying toys, sure, it's like, you know, you get a little bit of an endorphin rush opening a toy or whatever, having the mail come. And it's always great to open a toy and be like, cool, this looks great, putting it on the shelf. But there are some toys that when you buy them, you're like, this is important to own. This feels, and I know that sounds silly saying a toy is important, but I mean it. And this toy is the most important.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing to add to that. So I'm glad you mentioned, it's a perfect segue into my number one.
Okay.
Because when we talk about toys that are important, I would say that next class in that Sofubi Hall of Fame would include this one in the modern wing, meaning 90s and on. And this is one that it was not on my list last year. So how can it go from number one to number two? Well, I'm going to explain. I need a prop here to show you what I mean. So last year, before we did the list, I owned this. And this is to this day my favorite Sofubi item I have. There's a fire. This is the first one I'm saving. This is the Godzilla Tower. And this was my favorite one of the ones they released. And I was super excited to get this. And once again, I felt complete, right? And it's a great quintessential piece of Sofubi. Well, I was able to later in the year acquire the red with gold spikes, the gold dorsal fin. So I have two. And I underestimated the draw to own all four. So number one for me are the missing two for me. Marmit Godzilla Towers, the blue vinyl with the green paint is the number one on my list to acquire. And then the red with the silver spines. Everything else is identical to the one I have, except the spines are different. That's definitely a distant fourth. But there is, if I see these, I will pay for them. I will buy them. They're great to complete the four. It's going to take some time just because these very, very rarely ever come up for sale. Nobody sells theirs. And there's a reason for that. I mean, I get it. But I want to complete the family, man. I want to complete the family.
You have
and this is, like I said, this is my favorite piece that I own, the favorite Sofubi item. It's number one. And I want to get the other ones. And I just did not. I thought, knowing the price, knowing the rarity, and I thought I was going to be happy. And I'm very happy with this. But when I got that second one, I was like, well, you either have one or you have all of them. So it's number one. It's the one that, like, if both of these came up for sale tomorrow, within reason, I will sell all 49 goddamn Marusan 350 Gojis. I won't, because that'd be a lot more than these would cost. But I would basically sell about anything other than the Godzilla Towers I own to acquire these. So that's number one on my list. And I'll be dead serious with you. There's a little bit of a gap between number one and everything else. Like, this is number one with a bullet.
Number one. Okay.
And I'm hoping that I have the opportunity. I just want the opportunity. I'll give it my all to get these when given the opportunity. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this year.
You got to, man. They're beautiful toys.
Yeah.
I put those on my list last year.
You did.
And it's not, it would never come off the list. You know, like that. Yeah. That is a beautiful toy. I know those are harder to get, and it's like, it's so hard to get, and they're so expensive that it's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, I want it, but it's like, you kind of got to put it out of your mind.
Yeah,
just
100%.
So you don't go crazy. But
and spoiler, next year, if I don't have, they'll be number one again. There's nothing that's coming out that's gonna top them, until I get them, and then maybe something else. But they are. I search, no joke. I search everywhere I can. check all the Facebook groups, search all the sites in Japan and local eBay, whatever. I search Marmit Godzilla Tower more than anything I've ever searched in my life. Every day it's like my cup of coffee, search for Marmit Godzilla Tower, and we get them. So yeah, I hope, I just want the opportunity to be able to get outbid, and if somebody spends their life savings on it, great. That they deserve you will love it and you won't regret it.
Yeah. Jay, that's such a good number one. Yeah. Such a good list. Everything you have on your list, I also want. And I'm sure everybody watching probably also want that. I love these kind of episodes that do lists and stuff. It's so good. Good number one, Jay. My number one, I feel like you know what it is because I've been having you help me look for it for the last year or so. I really, 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 really want a TOYGRAPh transforming Mechagodzilla figure. This is one of the most beautiful toys I've ever seen. There's technically two different versions of it. Well, two different versions of the figure, and then they each have variants. I want at least one of each. I don't think I'm sitting here trying to get all of these. There are a couple colors that I don't love the all black one. I don't love the orange one. It's like I don't love those, but I really, really, really love the sculpt. It's so charming and beautiful, and I've always loved any of the Mechagodzilla in disguise kind of figures that are out there. But these TOYGRAPh, these are beautiful. I want one of each of these so bad, and we've been looking, we've been trying to kind of come across them, and we just haven't. But I know you've had them, you've had one or two before I was aware of them. It's not like they're impossible to get, but
some of the colorways are really hard to find, and that's the thing. I think that the black ones, and I know you mentioned those are your least favorite, like those are probably the easy.
They're probably
it's how it always works that way, right? Like the ones that you like the least are the ones that are easier. I've run across the glow ones before. I've seen them. I haven't owned them. I've seen them like out there. I can't remember if it was a Facebook group or if it was on like the Japanese sites or whatever. But I want to say I had the orange one, the 25%, where you still have Godzilla's head on there. And I've seen that one before, or I've had that one before on the site. But yeah, these are beautiful. Like I kind of would have to go back and maybe add these to my list too. Like I forgot about these guys. They are awesome. I
dream about this. I dream about these toys. Like
it's really cool. Yeah. And TOYGRAPh does such good stuff. I'm trying to think. I'm looking. I'm trying to think which I think my favorite one is on the Godzillas. I think it's the third one to the right, the blue one, like kind of the blue and with the
pink foot.
Yeah,
I think that is my favorite of the Godzilla.
Yeah,
and my favorite of the Mechagodzilla is the kind of third from the left. So he's got like the pink the line down the middle, and then like the green Godzilla body. I think I
might agree with you. I think I might have the same ones. I do love the different color eyes on the glow Godzilla, the top, the far right. I love that one as well. I like the black ones though too. Like I do like the black ones. The orange one's probably my least favorite, but they're all awesome. And we're talking about like the worst one is still one of the best pieces of Sofubi out there.
I think the only reason I dislike the black ones is because they don't it's harder to see the detail. Like it just looks like a black thing. It's a little harder to see detail. But yeah, dude.
And I think if they didn't do the other colorways to compare it to, I think that does it a little bit of a disservice because the other colorways are so striking, and you can definitely tell the differences in the different details and stuff. So this is a great number one, man. I absolutely love these 100%. Like they are freaking amazing.
Yeah. I just want to buy all these toys now. It's like looking at all these lists, looking at 20 figures.
I know.
It's like, well, now I just want to buy. I just want to buy something now. So,
oh man, I got a, literally, I was opening up, the reason I was looking off to the side, I was opening up an email from a guy I work with in Japan that helps me source some stuff for Tokyo Toy Town.
Yeah.
And no joke, in his list of new stuff, he actually has the 2 of those, but it's the 2 black ones.
Oh, no!
Just taunting it is. I was like looking, I was like, okay, I think I knew that. But I was like, I know the 25% was definitely the black one. He's tried to sell that one to me before, but I didn't know about the 50% one, the one that had the Mecha Godzilla head. I couldn't remember which one that was, but it was, I did verify it was the black one, which is very cool. Yeah, the price he has is
good
really,
price.
really good. But like if you would have said, "Oh, it's my second favorite one," I might like, hey, okay, that might be But they are the black ones. Oh man, I was like, I was gonna break some big news.
We're gonna get it. It's okay.
But yeah, it's a great toy, and for those that have those, either the full collection or the one of each, like you are an awesome collector, and that's a good piece to have in the on the shelves.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait, dude. I can't wait to pick up my first off this list. And I also want to know, like, if anybody's out there listening or watching, anybody at all, if you're listening, if you have any of these toys, let us know like what you think of them. Reach out if there's any on here that you specifically are like, oh, I have it, it's not great, or I have it and I love it.
Yeah.
I just want to know. I want to know what to do with my list and where to start. And if you got, if anybody has a run on Godzilla Land stuff or whatever, if you got these other 2 Godzilla towers for Jay, just sell them to him. He'll buy it. You heard him. He'll overpay for them.
I'll overpay for him. Oh, no, it's actually funny. We so the great Linda Conrad, that's Chibi Goji Toys, and she's wonderful. So I've got to know her like online because we both were doing Pop Shop Lives around the same time, and we share a mutual friend, an awesome indie toy collector, designer toy collector, probably has up there in the greatest toy collections I've ever seen from in photographs and stuff. He lives down in Austin. His name's Michael, and we have been. He doesn't have the Godzilla tower, and we have been for like the last year begging her to, because she, Linda has all that. I mean, she probably got it from like, Marmit probably sent her like, hey, here free Marmit Godzilla towers,
right?
Because she is who she is. She just has them like stored away in a box somewhere. We've been trying to get her to sell them for a long time, and she's like, nope, and it's totally fair. Like, I mean,
right?
We're not.
Of course,
it's like we know, like, but she also has probably the largest collection of Godzilla stuff ever. And I'm like, you can spare 2 Marmit towers, right? But it's been a kind of an ongoing joke with us every time. Like, I think he talks to Linda, he asks her, he goes, "Oh, is Marmit towers ready?" And like, and she's even posted like Instagram stories or messages to us that just shows pictures of them. And after that, like, she's just taunting us. But no, she's great. She's wonderful. And but I want to get those. But that's the only person I know that has all 4. Or I don't know if she has the other red with silver spines. I know she has the 3 original ones.
Right.
She has those. So, which is the main ones. So yeah.
Dude, some good stuff, man. And I know you're going to get both of those.
Eventually.
I feel like something's going to happen. And in like a week, one of us is going to have one of the big, it's like, that's how it always happens. Anytime you do these lists, it makes you go out and be like, all right, well, I got to buy something off this list. So
I think I bought the Batra 2 weeks after our one last year. I think I bought it like the last, like New Year's Eve or something. I bought the Batra.
Right.
And the other thing about the Godzilla towers, which is interesting and troubling, is when I do search it, a lot of times, because I search Godzilla tower, that damn TOYGRAPh Toho Tokyo Tower pops up. And I'm like, do I want to just buy this instead? Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
One of those days you will.
Yes.
Jay, I don't know. You got anything else on this list? Or
no, man. I love doing these lists with you, man. It's just so fun. It's a highlight of my week. And we've got to a nice little run of doing like trying to listify everything. I think it makes it so much more fun, or good this stuff. And I'm excited for Holiday Wishlist 3 next year.
Yeah, me too.
And to all of our listeners, like, I don't know what we're doing for the last episode of the month because I know with travel and everything, and we might do a recap. Who knows? We might just go, hey, we're going to talk about 8 movies. We just don't know yet. Probably not that. But thank you guys for continuing to support us for another year, and have a great holiday, whether that's Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or Christmas or Saturnalia or whatever that is. Have a good one, and hopefully you listen. But please, we would really, really, and we don't do this a lot, but I'm going to do it right now. Please shoot us a like, shoot us a nice comment, whether that's Apple Podcasts, whether that's YouTube, whatever. It's really important to us, especially since we moved over platforms on YouTube. It's really great.
Right.
We want to try to build up that audience again and everything. So that if you
That's
like what we're
what-
doing, please help us out.
Yeah, that's what we're asking for Christmas this year. It's
Yes,
just like a review. Just give us
a review, a good review.
A good one. If it's a bad one, then just keep it to yourself. But
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't say any of that better. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks. We'll do like usually everybody's like last show of the year is like their big kind of thing. Ours is probably just going to be a chill like.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? This is our big end of the year.
This is our big one. It's that's true. It's my favorite show that we do of the year. Like I really do enjoy it. And it's really fun just to see kind of what both of us think of as like, this is what we really want. Like we say we like and we want things a lot, but then when we have to boil it down to 10 at the end of a year, that's hard.
It's hard.
Because we probably said 1,000 toys like, oh, I want that. I want that.
I mean, everything.
Everything. But this is like actually the 10. But anyway.
Yeah. So guys, if you want to send us one of these toys, well, that's fine with us. Just do it.
We'll accept it.
Yeah, have what Jay said, have a good holiday or whatever, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Adios.